Welcome to the Shout of a Ride podcast. I'm a bit croaky because it's actually the morning after I've just got back from badminton. I'm still in England for a very special reason because the boys are back. I cannot believe we have Simon on here the morning after badminton at 7 o'clock in the morning. Good morning, boys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What we do, you can hear the laughing. We had to record this podcast because we have a very special guest. And I don't know, I really want to sing. I come from a land down under, but I won't.
I think that's racist.
No, please do. Please keep going. That was great.
But we have the wonderful, I think the best way to describe him is the Australian version of Ben. Is that a good way? I don't know. You seem to do so much cool stuff.
He's cooler than I am. That's
Oh,
why
guys,
I invited him on.
if we're gonna start with this kind of flattery this early in the morning for you guys, everyone calm down, okay?
Well, Caleb Degen, thank you so much for coming on the pod, all the way from, I want to say Brisbane, Australia. Am I right? That area.
Yeah. Southeast Queensland. We're just west of Brisbane here, but thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. I was absolutely stoked when I got the invitation, and now I thought it was just with Ben, and then the three of you are here, so no pressure.
Simon has just come back from badminton, and we've just had a little chat off the pod, and you actually know what badminton is, which is amazing.
I think that if you're in the horse industry and you haven't heard at least of badminton, there's something going on. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, I was going to say, Caleb, you're meant to be on my side. I was the most uneducated person. There were people's dogs at badminton that had more knowledge of what was going on than me.
Well, I've got my completion plaque here for badminton.
Oh,
hold it in front of your face because there's so many of us. You're only very narrow. Oh, Lord.
Very cool.
That is
honestly,
very cool.
It's taken a lot to get this bad boy.
it's just insane.
Isn't it insane? We spent thousands upon thousands upon thousands of pounds to get there, and this is all I've really got to show for it. Oh, and the rosette.
I love that the videos. Nearly every fence I saw a video of you jumping was a fence that I'd stood next to, and that just freaked me out even more. I was like, no. And Buster just made it look so easy. Like
it's just honestly, it's the most amazing little horse. Like, and sorry, Caleb, we'll move on, but like,
don't apologize. You're on.
Yeah, don't talk about badminton, guys. We're going to do a debrief. Okay, we'll talk about badminton.
Well, no, but just like I was like cross country, especially like the fence before the Vicarage B, the corner over the ditch. Like I was literally just pulling all the way into it. I was like, well, I saw. I was like, I've seen my shot. Let's keep traveling to that. And then I went, actually, no, I haven't. And then I started pulling, and then I like literally pulled him into the bottom of it, and the poor horse was like, I think, Simon, you want me to jump this over here, but I don't know what you're doing, but I think we're jumping this. And he literally just was like, I'm going to do it. And he just did it. And that's just like, it was so amazing. It was so on it. It was incredible. So, very pleased.
There was while I was holding the clinic at the weekend, someone came running up, screaming and shouting mid-lesson, Simon's gone clear, Simon's gone clear. So we all had a little celebration for you at the clinic.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, I love it.
Did you do a celebration dance?
I did a celebration dance and swearing for Simon.
Right.
I suppose Simon did many celebration dances. I'm surprised that you're not recovering from celebration dancing this morning.
I definitely feel quite tired this morning, I have to say.
I know. We're all a little bit jaded.
It says a lot about your normal life, Simon, that you look less tired than normal.
Well, actually, to be fair, if you told me we were doing this podcast tonight, I probably would have said, nah, can't you? Morning's definitely better for me. Anyway, back to Caleb. Sorry, Caleb, tell me, have you been? Horses always been a part of your life, like right from the word go?
No, wow, we're straight into it. So I think when I was a kid, I had absolutely nothing to do with it. You know, my family isn't horsey whatsoever. None of my family ride at all. I wasn't involved with horses at all. It was actually
So where did this come from?
Right, I know. It's a drug. It finds you. So I think that it was, and he used to drop me off at a riding school on a Friday morning, and I'd stay there the whole weekend, get picked up on a Monday, and here we are 15 years later. The rest is history.
You one of 7. I have a feeling that your parents might have been looking for childcare at that point in time, rather than like go and get into horses. This is just childcare.
Yeah, no, it most certainly wasn't here's a beautiful, expensive hobby for you to start out with. It was here, go and pick up horse shit, and we won't see you for 2 days.
I love that. So how did that then?
Jenny, you're almost loving that a little bit too much. Are you getting ideas for the kids?
No, it's just a reflection on my own life. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is what happened to me. Pick up shit, then we don't have to see you. And apparently it's really good and healthy for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds very similar to what happened to me. Yeah. Although I am in my parents' house right now, I need to be quiet. That seems, because I've watched your videos on Instagram and your performances that you do all over Australia and all the amazing stuff you do with your horses. I have an argument with Ben quite often about this, Caleb. Because yes, Ben's looking already worried. Because I don't think some people's way with horses can be trained. I think some people just have the thing where they can see what horses are like and read them. And I think that's why some people can get to a level and some people can't. Do you agree with me? How did you find out that you had this ability with horses?
Well, it certainly wasn't a, psychic That's So Raven moment where I had a vision or anything like that. But it was definitely, I guess from the get-go, I was totally in awe and enamored by horses. Like even these little riding school ponies who the poor buggers now, I look back on it and they're very different to what I saw them as at the time. But I was just totally enthralled by these incredible creatures that were happy to carry people around and do all of these amazing things. And I think you're exactly right. I think there is definitely a gift that you can't teach people. You can't teach feel, but it has taken a lot of time and training to work on it. Sorry. God, that's 2 shots fired, Ben.
Yeah. No, my argument is that it's not that it's something you're born with. It's something you pick up sort of accidentally along the way.
Absolutely, I agree.
With life. So how do you transition from, because I'd love to ask you this, Caleb, because it's a really common question I get asked, which is like, how did you get into this industry? Now, my answer is terrible because it's pure nepotism. My dad did horses for film and TV, so now I do horses for strange stuff. But you saying that you came from a completely non-horsey background.
I'm sorry, you don't do straight stuff to horses, can I just say? With horses.
No, not to be
That's such
confused.
a bad way to describe what you do.
I do strange stuff with horses.
It's early. I do strange stuff with horses. Yeah, that's on my OnlyFans, not my Instagram. But yeah, because it's such a leap to go from no horses in your life to now, being like like in the performance side of it, which is such a niche aspect of our industry. What was that journey like?
Terrifying. I think that when I was a kid and when I started out with horses, I never dreamed that would be a career for me because I was always told, horses are a hobby. You need to find something that's going to fund your hobby. If you have a passion for horses, that's great, but you're going to need a career. And I think that for me, I wasn't going to take that answer. I wasn't really very happy with it. So I started pushing and working on my own. I had a job working with polo ponies before school, and I used to work after school at the local feed store. And from there, I guess I discovered what I was truly passionate about. I've been working at the Australian Outback Spectacular. So it's a live dinner show on the Gold Coast. And I've been there for nearly 11 years. And I think that has kind of fueled my desire to take it further. I was the most useless, terrified kid about 10 years ago. Put a mic on me and there is no chance I would have been able to utter any kind of form of a sentence. But being thrown in the deep end in that kind of a capacity has taught me to be able to be confident in a sense. And having a horse next to you has made it so much easier for me.
Yeah, and can I just say, having come from the back of badminton, where I was at badminton too, did you know, Caleb? But having come from the back of that and interviewing all the riders, they are so much more comfortable when you either put them next to their horse or talk about their horse and not them. So there is definitely an element of good with horses, shit with chat. And the chat thing has to be trained more than the horse bit. Yeah.
Shit chat, always. To give you an example, it was probably a few years in at Outback, and I'd just been performing and speaking on mic for a few years, and then they decided we were going to do a little trade show demo in a shopping centre in Malaysia, and obviously we couldn't have any horses there whatsoever, and I was absolutely useless as tits on a bull. Like there was no part of me that was comfortable. As soon as they took my horse away from me, I had nothing.
That's the strike. I think your life could be even stranger than mine because at no, we get some strange jobs with the horses, but to come into work on like Monday morning and be like, oh, by the way, team, you're going to Malaysia next week. You're doing a show in a mall with no horses.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, literally.
So
we took a stock whip. That was the closest thing.
You took a stock whip. Could you explain? Because I'm a massive fan. I love the Outback Spectacular. It's on my bucket list to come and see it. But could you give a little bit more of a sort of background of what that is and what goes on at that show to our audience?
Yeah, for sure. I guess it's like a Broadway play with 40 horses, 20 cattle, an eagle, dogs, a helicopter, the works. So it's a massive. Just to put it in.
What?
1 second.
Yeah,
I
I
was
know.
with you until
Okay,
helicopter.
let's go. So it's the only helicopter on a monorail in the Southern Hemisphere. So it has to be able to run. So it's governed by Australian aviation laws. So it does have to be able to fly out of there tomorrow, but it sits on a monorail and does a lap of the arena and does a fake muster of cattle. It's pretty cool. But,
wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's epic. But to give you a bit of an idea, it's a 60 by 20 arena, just the basics to start with. And then we have a 1,000-seat auditorium and it's a live dinner show. So we do 4 or 5 shows a week and there's quadrilles with horses with 12 riders. We have trick riders. There's some liberty work. There's singing, dancing, the works.
So are you a singer then and a dancer?
Unfortunately, sometimes the audience does have to hear that, yes.
This could be.
So you're like a proper natural performer like Ben is?
This is your calling, Simon, I think. I think we've got to get you over to the show.
Yeah, you've been taking your acting classes now.
Mate, I'd love it. I would love it. I think that sounds right on my street.
You had a great badminton. Now you can retire to Australia to combine all your skills.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. Perfect. I know a guy.
Yeah, I think it's insane just the scale of the performance that you guys put on and like all the special effects there. We're constantly seeing you online rehearsing different things. And what I love, one of the reasons I was so inspired to ask you on, Caleb, was that you don't sit on your laurels. Like you are constantly pushing yourself to grow, not only with your liberty work, but always also now with your classical dressage and the horses you've been, acquiring for yourself there to expand that skill. What would you say is your greatest passion when it comes to both performing and the horse training?
For me, I think it's seeing growth. I think that's something that's really addictive for me in myself and in my horses. Like, I think one of the things that I'm really passionate about is having a goal, but not letting that goal be all consuming. Like for me, feeling like the horse is getting somewhere with you is something that is, I mean, you guys all know it's indescribable. It's something that you go there together and start to achieve something in that sense. I have recently started delving into all the worlds, for want of a better word. I get bored quite quickly. So I want to try new things. I've decided lately I'm going to start riding dressage, and then on the back of that, I'll do the same liberty work with the horses as well. So I try not to pigeonhole myself too much, which makes it fun.
I have seen some of your dressage. You look beautiful on a horse doing dressage, by the way. You are really good.
I have some nice horses.
No, I think I was just gonna say, if you're just starting your dressage journey, don't go and look at Caleb just starting his dressage journey, because you will demoralize yourself and think, why don't he's here going, oh, I'm just starting my dressage journey, and then you scroll down and he's riding beautifully and then training things like Piaffe at Liberty, and you're like, I think we're doing quite well.
There's me barely cantering around a prelim.
Piaffe at Liberty. I mean, how do you even start that?
Well, you sign up to the Ben Atkinson method, and you have to go from there.
So
always good for a plug.
Same sort of question, but sort of even further. Where did you first come across the liberty work, and how was your journey in that, and how do you think that's changed you as a horseman?
I think it's kind of defined everything that I do as a horseman. I learnt from an incredible lady called Zaylee Bullen, who works in film and TV a lot in Australia. So she's worked on huge movies like The War Horse, Racing Stripes, all of these big feature films. And she trains a lot of the horses for Outback Spectacular. So she trained a lot of the older horses that we have there. And we trained these 3 beautiful black Liberty horses that were interchangeable for a certain scene of the show. Now there's 2 Frisian crosses and a little stock horse. They're all so individual, but she started working with me and showing me how she works with a Liberty horse. And I just thought that this witchcraft, this lady that was teaching these horses things, that there was nothing touching them. And it was the most incredible thing that I had ever seen in my life. And I had to know more. And it was pretty well from the first time that I saw her first work a Liberty horse well, this beautiful connection that she had with them. I said, like, that's me. I've got to do that. Like, I need to learn how to do that, whatever it takes. And that's kind of how it happened.
That is, but what I kind of find amazing is it's not like, I don't know, with both you and Ben, it's not like with like when you learn to ride and you go, right, these are the stages. These are like you learn rising trot and then you hope that they don't fall off in canter, and then you actually teach them to sit the canter, and then you learn to jump. Whereas I feel with the Liberty, like when there's no one, you guys obviously have been doing it for a long time now, and now there is like the Ben Atkinson method. But I'm guessing when you started out, in the same way as Ben started out, there was no like real pathway of how do I
No,
make
so
this
it's a case
horse?
of kind of find your way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a lot of stuffing up, to be totally honest. There was trial and error and seeing what worked. And my poor horses, if I had the same knowledge I did today, I'm sure they'd be a lot happier with me. But I think that's the beautiful thing about horses as a whole. Like, they're going to try and work something out. Like, even if it's not done the exact same way or done perfectly, if you give them that clear line of connection and the same question every time, they're going to work it out in some kind of way. But yeah, it was definitely a whole lot of trial and error. It wasn't always pretty, that's for sure.
And have you ever had it where you've kind of thought, you know, in your younger days when you thought, yeah, no, I've cracked it. I know what I'm doing now. And then you suddenly realize that actually, no, I have no idea and I need to learn more.
Are you speaking
Yeah.
from experience here, Simon?
Yeah, totally. Well, you do, don't you? Like with horses, you like there's a stage when you're younger when you're like, yeah, no, I've got this covered now, and then very quickly you realize you don't have it covered at all, and that you're never going to stop learning. And I mean, that's what makes it so wonderful as a as a thing. Horses is that we never stop learning, and we're never going to be perfect.
Yeah, I think...
I love it.
Sorry, Ben, go
I was
ahead.
going to say, I feel like Simon's saying, yeah, become an equestrian and have your first midlife crisis at 25.
Well, to be fair, like so it's like this morning, if I'm really honest, I feel a bit deflated because, you know, I had a really good weekend, but I can literally there's so many things that I could improve of what I've just done, and I was thinking about it this morning. I was thinking, like, Ros Cantor did the most spectacular job this weekend and won and was incredible because she is. But I bet she's the same. I bet she's thinking, oh, I could have done that better, or that could have been better. Oh, I didn't really help him out there, and there's like, it's like, obviously it's different. Is it different? Is it different to you guys? I don't know. But yeah, you're always thinking, I could have that better, or I could improve this, or I could be communicating better with this or that or whatever. And it must be the same with you guys, or am I wrong?
No, I think you're totally right. I think the perspective is absolutely everything, not just with horses, but like everything in life. Like, I sometimes will go and do a performance and I will come out like happy with my horses, but I'll think, my God, that was absolutely abysmal. And I'll have someone come up from the audience nearly in tears saying that was the most beautiful thing they've ever seen. And I'm thinking, were we in the same room? Like, that's not what I felt.
No, it was shite.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. But to answer your original question, I think that it was the first time, and it seems so ridiculous now, but the first time I just got one of my horses to circle at Liberty, and now that seems so absurd. But I was like, oh my God, I've done it. This is it. I've made it. We're done. Put the tools down. Great work, everybody. Like, we're finished here. And I think it was the next day that it's just a constant learning journey. I think that happens to me pretty well every week now. I think, oh yeah, we got that. That's awesome. And then we start again.
And it's like, oh no.
Yeah. Actually,
like,
pull your head in.
The horse did a circle at Liberty. Next day you came out and the horse buggered off and started eating grass on the other side of the road. You're like, oh, it doesn't. Yeah.
Actually, I suck.
It's so difficult because you need to have both those mindsets at the same time, don't you? Like, you need to praise yourself and give yourself like positive feedback and support for what you've done, as well as forgiveness for the mistakes that you've made.
But can anyone do that? Like, because so it's something that none of us do that, do we? We're always criticizing ourselves. We never go, God, yeah, that was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I did a brilliant job there. Like, we're so rubbish at that.
But if we don't criticize ourselves, we wouldn't grow either.
Yeah.
Because I
There's got to be a
think,
balance, hasn't there?
yeah, because it really is that balance. Because you see it there's a lot of, like, in the horse world these days, it's fashionable to blame the horse, even via being sympathetic to the horse. So it might not be like, oh, it's going wrong because this horse is bad, or it could be it's going wrong because this horse has this trauma or whatever.
He's just really green. He's just really green right
Yeah.
now.
Whereas it's like, well, yeah, but you could improve your own skill and it would definitely help the horse. So that's why I say I agree. It's awful that we do criticize ourselves so much. But like you say, I bet Roz is doing the same thing to herself this morning, and that's what makes the best the best.
Can I ask a question? Do you think, and this is all three of you, put my hand up. Yeah, thanks, Caleb. Do you think if you guys were better at going, I made that mistake, but had it in a positive way, what can I learn from this? And I know you do that a little bit, but there is like a sense of, I could have done that better, but like almost turn it around. Right, we did that. How do we fix it? And be more positive about it. And try and block out the negative, recognize it, but not be negative about it. Or you're all
I
thinking.
try and do that all the time. I find it more difficult and dependent on so many factors, like what time of day it is, how tired I am, what kind of frame of mind I'm in. If I'm a good frame of mind and I'm not exhausted, then I'm very good at being like, okay, so I made that mistake, but I can learn from it because of this, that, and the other. But when I'm really knackered, I make a mistake and I'm like, I am so fucking shit. And it's very difficult to get away from that.
Yeah. Why do you even have horses? What's the point?
Yeah, exactly. And more often than not, that's because I'm absolutely knackered and I can't like see a way through. And like, I don't know, it's like a little bit of a brain fog, like a tiredness fog that you can't just like. There's no clarity to it. That's what I find. But
Can you recognise then that maybe isn't the best time to fix that? Can you go like that's the thing, isn't it? Because you have to work with horses 24/7.
Now that I'm really old, yeah.
Oh, good. Back in the day, it was like,
I'll be actually knackered and be like, okay, so look, babes, you're really tired, so let's just think about this another time, shall we?
Do you call yourself babes? Can we just dissect that for a second?
In the mirror, listen here.
Honey.
Listen here, honey.
I'm now just imagining Simon riding into the fences at badminton like, come on, babes, we've got this. Let's go.
Get it together.
It's like when I was at, sorry, this is I'm making this all about me.
Yeah.
I was at Po one year before I was just about to. I was going to leave my hotel room to go and do the cross country day, and I was fairly scared. And I was just about to go out the door, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, and I started talking to myself in the mirror, and I was like, "Look, you're really good at this. Don't be a pussy."
You just remind me of, have you seen the film Cool Runnings?
Yeah.
Where he said, I'm a bad man who don't take no shit from nobody. Like, that's Simon in the mirror before he goes out on an event.
He's got his lucky egg in his pocket.
I'm going to have to record that, Ben, and listen to that on the way in when I'm going to cross country start.
Oh, you should. And we can get all your fans to like memorize it. So when you're stood going around the course, they're shouting, I'm a bad man who don't take no shit from nobody. Come on, Simon. No,
that's why we won't get invited back to badminton.
Yeah, I saw that when that reel we made got posted by us and not badders. I was like, cool, my career as a course walker's over.
No. They loved it. Well, badminton might not have done, but everyone else did.
I agree with you on the mindset thing, though. So I was doing a clinic over the weekend, which is why I couldn't stay to watch Simon. And I was teaching a really advanced student. Like, she's amazing. Like, she's jumping a 1.30 meter track bridleless on her horse. Like, she show jumps up to a massive level. She's incredible. But she has a confidence crisis when things go wrong at Liberty and doubts her training and stuff. So this is the mindset that I try and look at it at. There isn't an infinite amount of things going wrong in your life. Try and get into the mindset that if you imagine that there's not an infinite amount of mess ups, but there is an infinite amount of success. So every single time you try and it goes wrong, that's one less time that you're going to have to go wrong in the future. Because every time we go wrong, we can unpick it, we can find out what happened, we can make a plan, and we can do better next time. So you can't, when things go badly or you have a bad day, it's impossible for that to make you fail. The only time that you really fail is when you stop trying. And so
Benji, what if it keeps on going wrong over and over and over again?
Well, then you need more information, new plans, new systems. Like, one thing I thought that was really, on this topic, really inspiring, like to hear you, Simon, saying it over the weekend was all the mindset work you did. and all that sort of thing. Like, you know, you saw a hole in your game and you found the support and the knowledge to fix it. And I think that's just such an important message. Doesn't matter if we're doing what you were doing. It doesn't matter if we're doing, you know, Liberty or whatever your goal is really. You know, keep trying. And if it keeps going wrong in the same way, there's definitely a solution of
Sign up for a bit of
some
BAM.
kind. Sign up for a bit of BAM, or just anything like that. Because mindset is everything.
My tired cycle. I'm the exact same, Simon. So if I can recognize before it's too late that I'm too tired, like I sound like a whinger here. I work full time at Outback, get home at around 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, and then we start at home at 6 a.m. the next morning, day in, day out. And if I'm in that tired cycle,
that is hardcore.
Horrible, right? No, I do it to myself. I love it. But if I can recognize that I'm in my tired cycle and there's no point in trying to address something in that point in time and that there's another day tomorrow, my training progresses so much quicker if I leave something rather than trying to fix it on the day. Like if I just come back, better frame of mind, there's actually no point in me trying to push through that at that point in time because I will just doubt myself entirely. Whereas coming back with a fresh brain, the perspective totally changes.
And so talking of your tired cycle, and you finish at 10:30 at night, and then you start at 6:30 the next morning, and you clearly do that pretty much 7 days a week. How do you get out of that cycle? Because you can't get out of that cycle without having some downtime, and you obviously don't have much downtime, or do you?
No, well, so Mondays, right now, today's my day off. So we always have Monday off. But I think for me, it's also recognizing that as soon as I have a few hours to myself, I want to go and work with a horse again. Like it just makes me, because I'm sure you've all been in that point in your life where horses are my driving passion for everything. But when it becomes every minute of every day, you're working with a horse, you're talking about a horse, you're seeing a horse, sometimes it becomes almost like a trigger point of going, I just need a minute where I'm not with a horse. But then I find myself on a Monday, I'll have 4 or 5 hours in the house and I'm sitting there going stir crazy thinking, okay, what could I be doing with my horses? So I think it's also realizing that as soon as that's taken away, you want more of it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's interesting.
I think you're both like that. I think you're both like that, especially like Ben. The one thing that drives Ben the most mad is the fact that when you're doing this right now, you're not working with your horses.
Yes, totally.
It's not.
Yeah.
Don't take it personally.
I don't. I've met your horses. I'd rather hang out with them than all of you three. So yeah.
Yeah, but that comes from an even more crazy part of my brain, which is my obsession with mortality and the fact that my body's going to get older and my horses are going to get older. So I only have so many days to work with those horses in their prime, and I only have so many days to work with me in my prime. And so, like, especially my favorite horses and the ones that are getting older, every day when you're like away doing something else, it's like, oh, you're wasting a ride. You're wasting time. Like, what are you doing? So that's one of my big drivers.
Oh, I like that. Passion. Yeah. More passion.
More energy. More
energy.
More energy.
Jesus Christ. Welcome to my world, Caleb. But I get that because I'm not riding so much at the moment. And I'm like, that's like a pause in my life. You two are the worst.
You're going to be doing loads next week.
Oh, I give up.
Sorry.
No, but then I'm like, I just hate both of you. Let's go back to Caleb. Do you train people or do you just work your horse? Oh, no. Do you teach people how to ride? He is very handsome. I'm not going in that direction.
Jenny Moodle, you are terrible.
Back to the horses. Yeah, no, I do. I do a fair bit, actually. I've just started doing a fair few clinics and things on the east coast of Australia, and I really love it. I think sharing knowledge is something that's really powerful. It's the only way that I was able to learn, and anyone is. But hey, if you give me a choice, every day of the week, I'm going to be at home working with my horses as well. Even if it's the choice between, I don't know, working with whoever, I'm always going to want to be at home with my own horses too.
Is that because obviously you've like with your family, you've had one of 7 children and growing up and things like, and you're obviously, I can see that your horses are not just your work buddies, they're your solace, they're your everything. How are you at dealing with the clients that are just like, oh, it's all the horse's fault, or it's all that, or are you able to Like we talk about it quite a lot. The people who want to learn but really don't want to learn.
I think that liberty as a whole has become this I don't know, a trending fashion at the moment, that they think that as soon as their horse is loose, they can post a photo on Instagram and say, I did a liberty session with my horse today, and their horse has got its butt turned to them and facing the other direction and not engaged whatsoever. But hey, they did a liberty clinic or a workshop. So for me, I think that's a huge thing that I'm starting to be more comfortable in myself with, and starting to be able to tell people, hey, you need to come and work with your horse and not just send your horse to me for a minute and hopefully hope for the best. My clients are amazing, and I'm extremely lucky, but like you said, it's always people that want to have their horse doing this incredible stuff, but not put in the work.
Yeah, I have a little saying, which is lots of people want to do liberty, but nobody wants to learn liberty.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I really, I don't know whether we're going to be sounding like a twat now, but
At least you led with that.
I'd really like to do Liberty with Buster, the horse I did the badminton on, with all my horses. But my biggest worry about it is that I would really screw it up, and I'd actually affect my relationship with the horse in a negative way by doing it wrong. Or Ben shaking his head. So what do you think to that, Ben? Am I being stupid? Am I being short-sighted by not having a go?
I don't think you're being short-sighted by not having a go, because I think especially for you, it would just be finding the time to, finding the time in your schedule and in say in Buster's schedule, where could spend the time you had with him each day to work on that. But I think you can't go wrong in a way, really, like as long as you're training ethically and you've got a bit of guidance, a bit like anything else. Like you would, if someone said to you, "Oh, Simon, I'd really like to, get into jumping, or I'd like to get into dressage, but I'm really scared I'm going to mess up my horse." You'd say no. You're going to go wrong at first. But I think that
I suppose it's more like it's not. What I mean is like not just messing up my horse, it's potentially messing up my relationship with him.
I don't think so. Caleb, what do you think?
By changing things too much. Is that
I
a
think
stupid
that
question?
No, I think that's a great question, because I get it all the time. People say to me, hey, I would love to start, but I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to screw up what I've got with my horse already. But I think the fact that you're going into it with a mindset like that to start with tells me pretty well everything I need to know. If you have that little bit of underlying, fear is the wrong word, but respect for your horse, that you might alter some kind of connection with them, that tells me everything I need to know. The fact that you're going to be, like Ben said, training ethically and working with your horse. They're the masters of body language and communication. So as soon as you start working with him, he knows you. He already knows you perfectly. Look at what you've achieved with him. How incredible.
Yeah.
I think we have obviously with me having Wild this year, last year and stuff, and worry about being a good dad. And one of my friends who's got a kid who's older, like his little boy's 10, and his mantra that he taught me is good dads don't worry about being bad dads. And I think that applies to horses as well. That same sort of, if you're worried about doing a bad job at it, you're probably not. Or if you are, you're not on purpose. People that don't care about their animals don't worry about, about messing them up, about not doing a good job at it. So that anxiety, that apprehension in itself, exactly like Caleb said, is proof that you won't do what you're worried about.
You've also got to not use it as an excuse, like we were talking about earlier. So I find like a lot of clients that I've taught, that worry turns into excuses. I can't, they had hock injections 4 years ago. So now I don't want to jump them because I'll mess them up. Do you know what I mean? Like you can use your fear and then turn it into an excuse. And then, I don't know, Caleb's laughing. Would you say that was a assessment of some people?
Yeah, absolutely. It's my favorite when somebody says, I can't, he had an abscess as a 2-year-old. Like, that hoof has regrown. You're fine. Like, let's go. Let's do something.
So, Caleb, one of the reasons that I wanted to bring you on the podcast was because I love your work anyway, and I've heard you do other podcasts and stuff, and I think you're fascinating. But I love at the moment that you're very willing to stick your head above the parapet and get stuck into topics that you seem to do really well, because I've not seen you get lynched online yet, which is brilliant.
No, I do.
Have you seen what he looks like?
So you posted all about the different styles of training, talking about R+, R-, and all that sort of thing, and really putting a logic and reality, factual stance on that out into the world. I'd just love to ask you a little bit about that, about what sort of spurred you to do it, how you got involved in that side, and what has the reaction been from the public?
Okay, to be clear, first off, I get lynched all the time. All the time, I get taken down. And it used to really affect me. Like, I used to take it home and take it to the bank, and it would be anonymous member number 427. And I'd hold on to that comment for weeks and weeks of someone telling me, I don't know, something silly like your horse hates you because of your whips. And I could clearly see through the crap, but it doesn't matter. Those words kind of stuck with you for a bit. I think being in an online presence for a while now, it has taught me to push through and stick to what I believe as to be good. Hey, that might lose some people, it might gain some people, but if I'm not being true to myself, then there's no point in posting. That video you're talking about, I did sit on for about 3 days because I was quite nervous, because I was a bit worried about posting that. And it's a pretty strong opinion, because I'm pretty much cutting down a few people saying that what they're doing is incorrect. But what Ben is referring to here was me posting a video talking about positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement training, what it means to me. And I often have people come to me saying that, oh, well, you work with Liberty horses, that must only be positive reinforcement, or could you please break my horse in 4 weeks only using positive reinforcement, or start him at Liberty? And I've gotten pretty comfortable now telling people that no, like I do use negative reinforcement as well. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. You know, negative reinforcement is the only reason why we're all still alive and why we're sitting here and why we're all not talking over each other. I think it's a really important part of horse training is negative reinforcement done in an ethical way.
Could you just explain to like us and our listeners
Yes.
what
That's what I was going to say.
exactly what you're talking about when you say positive and negative reinforcement?
Yeah. Okay. So pretty simply put, for me and from my perspective anyway, negative reinforcement is the moment that your horse is in a controlled space. So like a paddock, whether it be 50 or 100 acres or a tiny little yard, that's negative reinforcement. That horse has a fence surrounding it and a barrier perimeter for you to work with it. The moment that you have a head collar, a lead rope, a neck rope, any kind of rewards that you are withholding, for me, it's just so many different things are often overlooked in domesticated horses because they're just the norm for people. It's just like, oh no, he's just out in his paddock. There's no pressure. There's an electric fence around that paddock that horse isn't allowed to go through. That's pretty well negative reinforcement. So I often do get clients that want me to only work with their horses in a positive reinforcement way. But for me, that can be really confusing for a horse when they're not getting the opportunity to get the right answer quicker. And I think the video that Ben's talking about again is something that the harsh reality of horse training as a whole is that it's for us. Like it's for people. If a horse had a choice from the get-go to be ridden or trot circles or piaffe, passage, jump, whatever it may be, I can pretty well guarantee you they wouldn't do it. So there's a point in time where we have to be okay with what our training is and how we train our horses to be okay with what we're doing and comfortable and be able to sleep at night.
Yeah, so I think it
Dun, dun,
gets
dun.
people's backs up a lot. Yeah. Like, which is the reason I was sort of good on you, Caleb. Glad you did it, not me. And when you put that video out, because
White flag.
yeah, that white flag, you planted that flag on that hill and you're going to die there. That's what you're doing with that video. But so like in my brain, the simplest way to explain it is positive reinforcement is horse does something you like, you give it a reward, generally a food reward, to encourage that to happen more often. Negative reinforcement is adding a physical stimulus to the horse to get the reaction. So when you're sat on a horse and you click to ask it to walk on and it doesn't, and then you squeeze with your legs to tell it to walk on, technically, because you're squeezing the horse, you're making the horse uncomfortable with your legs, that's negative reinforcement. Mm-hmm. And then the issue I have is, and what I loved about your video, is the purists. So the purists who say, I only train with positive reinforcement, but then the horse wears a head collar. So they're claiming to only train positive reinforcement for the kudos, for the credit, claiming they don't use negative reinforcement. But the moment you make any form of tactile pressure on a horse, you are using negative reinforcement. And I think we're so triggered by the language that
absolutely.
It makes people want to deny scientific fact. Because I would say, I've started now, so I'll finish. I was going to say a brilliant example, but it's not a brilliant example. Go and watch Blackfish and sign petitions and make it stop. But the example of like the orca at SeaWorld, I would say that's a sort of a prime example of purely positive reinforcement, as far as I'm aware. Like, no one's getting in there and tapping an orca with a schooling whip and saying, please move your fin over here. You're creating behaviors by where you move food and stuff like that. And so I think there needs to be everybody needs to step down off their defenses and their high horse a bit, which is why I loved your video, because it's pointless for trainers to claim they do purely positive reinforcement, because they don't.
Because it's impossible, you're saying?
Well, it's impossible if you want to touch your horse or ride it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Like it's there's no need for it either. Do you know? It literally means touch. If it feels it via touch, then it's a negative reinforcement.
So a huge percentage of any training that all of us do with horses is negative reinforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also,
do you
I
find
think you
that
need
the
to
more
get it
you
out
get
of your
into
mind.
the liberty, sorry.
But like the
Sorry,
word
what?
negative, I think that's the problem though, is that I think everybody has this negative connotation to the word negative. Like as soon as you say negative, it becomes this problem, like we're doing something wrong or bad by the horse. Like negative is not, it's just a word. Don't get rid of the idea that the fact that it's a bad thing or something that is causing total discomfort or harm to a horse. It's just creating, I guess, a clearer line of communication that we can work with them in a way that they understand a whole lot better than hoping and praying for the best.
Yeah.
So it's clear reinforcement rather than negative.
Yeah, I guess it's
Yeah.
Negative reinforcement doesn't involve the horse feeling negative about training. It's
Correct,
just it's trying to break
As soon
down
as you
this
say
wall of-
negative reinforcement, sorry to interrupt. As soon as you say negative reinforcement, I think whips and using like stuff that's really like it's in a bad way.
Yeah, you think
that's
band
my
tap
immediate
and-
thought.
Yeah, you think
let's
of big
go.
spiky rowel spurs and cattle prods and and that's
where my brain straight away goes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Whereas, you know, the moment you feel that second of pressure when you put a head collar and lead rope on a horse in the field and you give them that small pull to say, please follow me to walk in, that's negative reinforcement. So it's the reason I just wanted to have this conversation is it's important for people to understand the science. I wish whoever had come up with it had created better names, basically.
Well, let's create one now.
Don't. It's too hard. You start trying to think about it, and but
it's not. It's about educating people, then, isn't it? And negative. Well, you've educated me this morning, so, and I'm sure lots of other people as well, about what that means and how negative reinforcement isn't a bad thing. Well, it can be, but
I think a little bit of
absolutely.
how Caleb started this with though. Like, I think, Caleb, you're like, it's about getting your head around whether you're okay to ask a horse to do something that if they had the choice, they wouldn't want to do. And that goes but I do think, to add to that though, do you think once we have trained them to do it, they enjoy it? Because I didn't there's so many
Absolutely.
things that I've learned to do in life that I now enjoy, now I know how to do them. But when you start out, you're like, I don't like driving, for example.
It's a great connotation there. But yeah, absolutely. I think learning to learn is something that a horse absolutely learns to enjoy. Don't get me wrong. I'm coming from a place where horses are my entire life, career, being. I don't go a day without having horses in my life. They're my everything. But I think it's just also having enough, I guess, self-awareness to not blindside myself into thinking that, you know, asking my horse to do high-level exercises is necessarily something that is on their morning bingo card. Yes, we can teach them to love it. My horses come in ready to work. They want to do things because it's an interaction that they then start to enjoy and they start to want to be a part of the conversation in the same way that you're talking about learning. I think wanting to learn is something you can definitely teach a horse. But for me, it was more a self-assessment to not claim something that I'm not.
Yeah. Oh, this is hurting my brain.
But
sorry.
And then I think this is such an important conversation because we can't let the risk of all like the social licensing and just sort of, I don't know, almost feels a bit like communist Russia style, all your neighbors are watching you and you will be reported to Big Brother if you do anything wrong, which is good in some ways is amazing because the people that are doing terrible things are getting caught. But from a general population stance, it can't be a race to the bottom is my big thing. Like seeing badminton over the weekend, seeing those horses, seeing the things that they did, those horses love that. They're bred for it. They do it. That should exist forever. It should not go away. The same way when we see the high level of each equestrian sport. But I think people need to just be able to realize, there are horses that have the capacity physically and mentally, like we call it software and hardware, and that can reach those heights of training, be it in eventing, be it in dressage, be it in liberty. We all have our sequences or moves or specialities that take, the highest level horses can achieve. But that doesn't mean that every horse should be asked to move to that level. And I think that's where some of the sort of the reality checks in with it. And because strangely,
but you couldn't get any horse to do the top level because they would say no.
Yeah, exactly.
And they do say no. But the big thing with that, though, is that when they do say no, you need to read it right and you need to do the right thing. And lots of people don't do the right thing.
100%. 100%. You just had it there in one sentence, that it's a conversation. It's not dictator Russia, but it's just a conversation between the horse and the person. It's just not always a one-way street. That's, I think, what we're trying to get at.
What do you do, Caleb, if you've got a show?
It's a really good question. I perform with my horses, 3 or 4 nights a week, depending. It's probably a bit less now. But working out where that horse is at for the day and not sacrificing my relationship with my horse for an audience's entertainment is something that I have learnt very recently, because I used to push past a point to get some kind of an exercise or a movement, because, that's what the crowd's expecting. That's what's going on. But dealing with the horse that I have in front of me and being able to read that in a way that I'm not going to push past my horse's threshold and break their confidence is really important for me. My horses, honestly, and I can say this, hand on heart, I can walk into my paddock and my horses will trot over. They are happy to be a part of the conversation and they want to learn and be a part of that connecting environment. It's more so just making sure that we're not, pushing past that confidence and breaking the confidence in us.
And how do you deal with that? If you're in a situation where you're at a show and you're feeling like your horse is not engaged, not happy, and you're not happy with that situation, do you just say, sorry guys, bad luck, we're going to have to stop there? Or do you have another horse, you get another horse? Or how does it, sorry, no idea how the show works, but is it the show over, or how do you deal with it?
They get an eagle and a helicopter
in the book,
to
the
come
show... Look over there. No, it's always like the show goes on no matter what. Like someone falls off, the show keeps going. But if my Liberty horse doesn't want to work with me on the night, and hey, don't get me wrong, that's probably never really happened in that way, but I might alter the routine entirely. And just, there are nights where I have done walk and trot circles and made it look as flamboyant as I can, moving my hands and whips and making it into a performance. But I think that just reading your horse on the day and making sure that you're true to yourself, especially in live performances, it is so tough because you're not shooting for a film where you can, hey, we'll do another take, hey, we'll try again. Like Ben knows as well, live performances are really, really tough to navigate.
Yeah, because Ben said that multiple times before, that we're so different, because when I'm doing a dressage test and when I'm doing cross country course or schedule or whatever, it's set. That is what we have to do. That's what we have to do. Whereas when he's doing his performances, he can completely go off piste and do whatever he likes, and it still looks really good. He's not actually said that, but that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, man. Whatever I do, I look really great.
I think we're like the last bastion. We have some easier things as well. I can fall off mid-performance, get decked, and everyone will just watch me get back on and carry on. No one wants to medically check me or ask me if I need a head scan before I remount.
Well, and you can literally go, that was totally intentional. Thanks, guys. I'm just getting back on.
Not normally.
Whereas if I got
if you do a double roll, get up and a clap,
I'd have been like, yeah, sorry guys, totally meant to do that. I'm just going to get back on.
Yeah, but I think, and it is difficult, but I think like everybody just wants to see horses have fun, don't they? They want to see happy horses. Yep. And so that's, I think, similar to you, Caleb. I went on that journey of when the horses were maybe struggling with the environment of a new arena or whatever was going on with them. So they were struggling at a show. When you're younger, you keep trying to push because you want to do the best that you can and you think that the audience need that level. But actually, maybe if you're pushing the horse past where it should feel comfortable with that day, then it's uncomfortable to watch as well.
Totally.
So the audience actually get more enjoyment from seeing simpler things done well. Equally, I've had performances where I get completely mugged off, and so you do your best to turn it into an impromptu comedy act. You do a lot of looking at the watch, looking at the horse, being like, please come back, because it might sting your ego, because you have to accept that today the crowd need to laugh at you, not with you. But that's the point.
Because you did that a little bit at Your Horse Live, didn't you, Ben? A little
100%.
bit.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay,
a lot. Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah,
Simon. Great.
Thanks for putting that out again. Thanks for reliving that.
You look like a twat, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
You didn't. No, you didn't.
Or should we write it down?
And I think it's important to learn to laugh at that. Like, that's where, like, you have to just learn to look like a twat sometimes.
I think one of my performances. True. One of my performances I did, I had a team of 3 and I brought one of my younger horses along and I put him on the outside of a team of 3. And my 2 older horses said, absolutely not. They were gone. See you later. Middle of a performance. And my rising 4-year-old stayed with me and just started taking my hat off and chewing my hat. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was a bit like, oh God, how do I get this team back together? And the audience absolutely loved it. And it's so much more than anything that I was about to do, because this little horse here was so happy to just take my hat off and just start chewing it on the ground and throwing it in the sand. And they thought it was the best thing since sliced bread.
The issue there is when the director of the show comes up afterwards and he's like, Caleb, the new act, loved it. Right, if we could have that every day, please.
I can never do that again.
Don't know how you worked on that and came up with it, but it was perfect. You're like, oh.
Yeah, take the hat, take it again.
Caleb, in your, obviously there's only so much scrolling through your Instagram I can do, but with your horses, is there, like, with Ben, I immediately know, like, Malik, that's his horse that keeps him in check, teaches him when he's being a prat, tells him off when he's being an arse. If he's going to do something wrong, Malik will tell him. I feel like Malik's a horse that's taught you so much, isn't it, Ben? Have you got, which one of your horses has been the one that's taken you on the best journey? Is there one that's kept you in check? Like, which is the one that if people start following you is like, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I think it's Rocket, and he's actually been on a 6-month break at the moment on a little hiatus. But he's taught me so much, but probably because I probably sucked, but he was also quite difficult for me to teach. He was the first horse that I taught. And he totally kept me in check and so humbled all the time. And I feel so lucky that I've taken him all around the country now performing and doing things, but I got him because this lady was taking him to the knackery. He was done. I said, hey, wait, let me go get him. I'll have a look and see what I can do. It's my favorite thing. I love a project. I don't know why, in everything in life. And I started working with him, and he has truly taught me so much about myself, because it was not a horse that you could just push or force in any way, shape or form. But as soon as you started that conversation, he'd be part of it. I think I'm very lucky to have had him as my first horse, because if I had something that was a bit easier, I was in for a hell of a shock.
Can I ask as well, because we've talked a lot about you being at the Outback Spectacular, but I could have this wrong, but from what I've seen online, you have like a second job, which is as if not even more insane, where I see that you're always like riding around the pyramids or riding through Africa with safari animals. You don't do normal horsemanship, do you?
It's liberty or riding with lions. There's no such thing as a sitting trot on the long side. That's too boring. No, I think that it's the same as everything that I've done. I saw something that I thought was unattainable, and I started working towards it until it became my reality. That sounds pretty cool, but it is. I think that's kind of how it works. I feel like I can't do something or can't achieve something, and then my brain goes, okay, perfect, get working. So I went to Africa the first time and went on this incredible safari where, we're cantering with giraffe and zebra in the plains of Botswana. And I think that has sort of turned into a bit of a facet of my life where I wanted to be able to do that. So now I take people back and do trips once a year over to, this year we're going to Botswana and then to Kenya with some incredible people. And the same way as the Liberty work, I thought that this is not possible. The same thing in Africa. I thought we're not going riding with hippos and lions. That's not happening. So made it happen. And now I take a lot of people over from Australia that also think it's not possible.
You don't do it like ever do it at Liberty or without a bridle? Because if I'm going near a line, I want a fucking bridle. I'm just going to say that now.
Unfortunately, they're not my horses, so I don't really get the beauty of being able to dictate the rules. There's also a lot of red tape and a lot of safety precautions because it is the real world. It's quite dangerous out there. It's not an arena. It's not a 20 by 60 where we've got a fence and if something goes wrong, we're all good. It's, there's a lot that happens out there that we have to make sure that we are 100% safe. And also taking other guests and people that maybe not be so experienced it's a whole effort within itself. It's very fun.
I was just thinking, Jenny, implying that you take your horses with you to Botswana. I was like, I need a job at Outback Spectacular if it's paying like that. Like, crikey.
Yeah. We'll take them every year.
Yeah, we get no. I go riding in Africa on other horses. My horses go to Venice for the summer. They just like to relax out there, you know.
I've just got visions now of Ben going Roman riding and getting charged by elephants and then them going completely the wrong direction.
Yeah, no, thanks, Simon.
Great, beautiful. Going
That's
like
lovely.
that, and he's now got a groin injury.
Groin injury.
Simon, where would Buster go on holiday if he was to now have his holiday abroad?
Where would Buster go? God, he'd have to be some sort of activity. He'd definitely be a skier or something like that.
He might climb Mont Blanc.
He might climb Mont Blanc. That's a really good point.
Do you get the impression that all of us, and this is like one hell of an ADHD conversation, because all of us are like this, like, we can't sit still, we have to learn new things. We can't, like, we have to go somewhere into a jungle. We have to, I'm now like, I am so tired. I've just done so many talking interviews and I'm like, okay, now I want to go and ride a horse and I want to go on safari with Caleb. And
it's so good though to be doing stuff like that. Like on Saturday morning, Badminton, I was fairly shitting myself, but I was actually quite good. I was not too bad, but I did think it could be worse. You could be just about to try and scale Mont Blanc, the Grand Couloir bit, the scary bit. You could try and do that because you can't stop with that. If you decide to start doing it, then you're kind of like you're locked in. There's no getting away with it. Whereas at badminton, if you don't feel very comfortable after jumping events 3, you can just pull up,
steer away,
and also,
so it's all life experiences.
It would have been worse to be sat on the sofa watching other people go around the cross country at badminton than being scared waiting to go.
Exactly. I was thinking it's a real privilege to be absolutely shitting myself. Yeah. I seriously did, actually.
We should maybe get that on our merch. It's a privilege to be so scared you're going to shit yourself. Like, there we go. Simon Grieve, Badminton 2026.
I'd buy that t-shirt.
I love the message. I love the message sort of your life, Caleb, which is just, if you can dream it, go and do it. Like, at least try, and you'll probably end up closer than you thought you ever would do.
That's a really cool mantra, actually, talking of which.
Yeah, honestly, what's the worst that can happen? Like, if it doesn't work, you're back exactly where you were. Like, I've failed so many times, it's ridiculous, but the one time that it works, you're there. So, like, what's the worst thing that can possibly happen? Try liberty with your horse. Go and do something new and see what happens. The worst possible scenario is that you're exactly where you are. Best case, you're in Africa riding with a lion.
Yeah.
I think there's a slightly worse case is you take the bridle off and you end up the other side of the indoor arena and then in A&E. That's the worst case, actually, Caleb. I think you two forget we're not all you lot. Yeah. But I've really noticed... Sorry, Caleb.
No, go for it.
But I think what I've loved about, like, how you talk about just everything as a conversation, like, we talk about training and learning and whatever, but I feel like with your horses, it is, like, I don't know, there's something about you, like, when Ben told me that we wanted to have you on, I think it is just lovely that you, and like, if we could change the word negative reinforcement to something, we'll have a think about what it is. But I don't know, it's just the way you speak about your horses, it's just so lovely, and it is, like, and people say it, they're your friend, your work colleague, and blah, blah, blah. But I think you have a very much of a sense that you wouldn't be here without them.
It's like a family
I
feel.
wouldn't. Yeah, that's not even a sense. I actually wouldn't be. Like, that's the honest truth. I think that my horses are the only reason why I get opportunities. The only reason why I'm doing things is because of them. And sometimes that's a good reminder as well, whenever we're in whatever sport or discipline it is, that you're not doing this without your horse. So it's a good reminder.
Yeah.
So Caleb, do you have, like, so obviously horses are everything. Do you have time for anything else in your life?
Sorry, what's anything else?
Oh, no, sorry, Simon. He only has time to travel around the world on riding holidays in between his starring role.
Well, no, I was just wondering whether maybe he's like really into tennis or something, or I don't know.
Knitting. No, I am horrible. I don't have any other talents whatsoever. So please, if I don't ever have horses, I'm out of luck. We're done. I may as well signed, sealed, and delivered because I cannot draw. I cannot paint. There's no other artistic talents whatsoever.
But you can sing.
Simon, why are you making out like we all have lives outside of this?
What do you do?
I can't even ride a horse very well.
Maybe next podcast we could do it. We could do a little talent show. We'll all bring something on the side.
I've got to do that tonight. I'm doing my acting class tonight.
Perfect.
And we've all got to do our hidden talent. It's the talent show. And because I've been thinking about badminton, I haven't really thought what I'm going to do.
You should ride in on Buster. Just ride in. This is my talent. Yeah, you could wear. Just wear those grey joggers.
My new Brave pants.
Wear those grey pants that you wore, the grey joggers you wore on YouTube, and be like, "This is my hidden talent."
Which ones were they?
Your tripod trousers.
Anyway, back on the straight and narrow here, kids. I'm gonna sing. I think
You're gonna sing.
Perfect.
or I'm gonna do a monologue. I can't
didn't
remember
know
which.
you
I don't know which.
sing.
Practice now.
I'm not practicing now. It's very early in the morning.
What sort
Okay,
of
at
monologue
least
are you
what
going to go
song?
for?
What song are we thinking?
Yes.
I don't know. Well, I was thinking about doing Elton John's "Your Song."
Oh, very nice.
'Cause I like that one.
Or who let the dogs out?
Yeah, perfect.
Exactly. That's definitely going to show off my talent.
It's either Elton John or
Your
rap.
Song
There's no in between.
Or I could do. I was thinking because I was singing it in the car the other day. What's it called? I Dreamed a Dream.
Yes, very apt.
Dream of time gone by.
Although that is for a woman to sing, but
Yeah,
we'll
but
go with
Alfie
it.
Bose sang it, so I think you can.
Who sang it?
Alfie Bose sang it. Loads of
okay.
men have sung "I Dreamed a Dream."
Caleb,
yeah.
let's get an
I
insight
think that-
into who you are. What would you sing in a talent show?
So I don't know. It'd be something country. It'd be like a Luke Combs song, and I'd think that I'd have a piece of straw out the side of my mouth and a big old cowboy hat on, and think that I'm pretty cool up there with my guitar. But it would sound horrible.
Can you play the guitar?
No, I can't. That's my whole point. But I'd love to.
I'd just be holding it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
It's
like
a prop.
I'd look
Come
the
on.
part and I'd look really
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
but I can't actually do
Exactly.
it.
Appearance is the first step.
It's not that
the
we
rest
don't want
of it-
our friends. It's not that we don't want you to be doing well, but I was just going to forcefully log you out if you said you could play guitar as well. You're too sickening. You can't have everything.
Not a chance. No, we're done. I could pretend though. That counts.
Right. So we've been going for an hour and 10, and I actually genuinely, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, this has probably been the quickest guest pod we've ever had. Like, I feel like we could talk to you for another 2 hours, but I feel like will you come back on and just talk shit with us again? This has been amazing.
Yeah. We're not doing 3 hours. I've got horses to work. Yes,
Well,
I would love to. That would be so
Caleb
fun.
said at
I'd be
some
super
point
cool.
he's going to come and. Caleb said that at some point he's going to come and visit me. So we should try and time that he can come and visit the UK to play Liberty Horses, and we can drag him to a live podcast.
Yes.
That would be fun.
Podcast. Perfect.
That would be great. Terrifying.
And then we can, if we do it at a live event, we can come, but we can test Simon's acting skills because obviously we've got the professional Caleb, and we'll have to do a scene together.
Perfect. We'll do a reading.
I'll provide the
Yeah.
trained film horses. No, we're
It'll
doing a
be
scene.
Something
I'll
from
provide some
Titanic.
horses. We've got you two on the mics. Yeah.
What could
It'd be
possibly go
amazing.
wrong?
Exactly. What could go wrong?
And
I'll bring my
you've got
guitar.
one of ours. You've just had one of my mates with you, haven't you, Caleb?
No, I kid you not, Ben. She is literally just ducked out the door because I thought, I've got to have somewhere quiet to film this podcast. And Emily Mitchell is staying with us at the moment. She's so lovely and super talented, but it was quite uncanny that I was doing a podcast with you guys while she's visiting and staying with me.
Yeah, I thought this. I was like, we have to be honest about who I am to Caleb because he's actually got someone there he can check with.
Yeah.
What a
I've been
weird
taking
small
notes
world.
off camera.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just sort of like, what a bizarre world that we finally organised to interview you all the way the other side of the world. And I look on my Instagram stories and I'm like, Emily's at Caleb's. Wow, what a
Yeah.
strange. Yeah.
No, she's super lovely, honestly. What such a lovely girl. She's been great.
We do have a tradition on this podcast. Put your hand up if you want to go first of what's annoyed you this week. Caleb, I don't know if you've had time to listen to too many of the pods in your very busy schedule, but it is a thing. It doesn't have to be horse related. Do you want to go first, Caleb?
Yeah, I'm actually ready straight away. Does that say too much about me that I can find something I'm annoyed with straight away?
It just says you're perfect for this podcast.
it's when people leave dishes, but they leave them in the sink rather than next to the sink, so that you have to take the dishes out of the sink to put the water in to then wash the dishes.
That is such a good one. That is such a good one.
Kills me. It kills me. Leave them next to the sink, please.
But isn't that a bit like if you've got a dishwasher and somebody takes the dish that they've eaten their meal or whatever it is, and they go over to and they put it on the sideboard above on top of the dishwasher, but don't put it in the dishwasher, and then
infuriating. Yeah, so annoying.
I feel like I know someone who puts dishes near dishwashers. By the way Simon said that, he's like,
right, boys. Benji, what's yours?
Cyclists. They can all go to the seventh circle of hell. I'm done. I'm done with cyclists. They don't follow any of the rules of the road. They pick and choose what they want. When they want to take up the whole road, they're like, I have the same rights of a car. And then you get to a red light and they're like, oh, now I'm not a car. Now I can do weird pedestrian cyclist things. And even when we were at badminton, I got told off because we were trying to drive around, trying to film stuff, being all professional. And people are just there and they'll just like bike up 2 miles an hour in front of the car with like 20,000 acres of estate either side of them, so they could move, so you could get past in the car. And then I'm like, is the horn on the car broken? Because this person could move. And everyone is telling me that I'm a bad person when I'm not. I'm just thinking, get out the road with your bike. And they drive me so mad. And I want to know the statistics for how many car crashes are caused every year by cyclists. From when you have to try and like overtake them when they're slowing everything down, and they always take up the there's too much
on
lycra.
top of all of that, they wear lycra.
Yeah, like if I was going to write a TED talk on cyclists, it would be called Lycra, Inappropriate Lycra and Entitlement. That is what I would title my TED talk on cyclists.
Have you seen that video that's on? It's like an AI video online, and it's this man, and he's just lying in bed, obviously in the morning, and he's like, "I'm just trying to work out how I can be a giant knob today," and then it goes to him on a bike in his lycra, like cycling with a queue of traffic behind him.
Yeah, I think it's because like if you're out running and you see a car, you get off the road. Walking the dog, you get off the road. If you're out on your horse, you're meant to get off the road. They live in their own world. No one else. And
I was on my way back from badminton, coming out the lorry park. You can either turn right and go to the village, or turn left and go somewhere random. And the guy on the gate was like, "You don't really want to go to the village because the traffic's going to be absolutely horrendous because everyone was leaving. If you go left, I don't know whether there's any rate restrictions or anything, but it's going to be clear that way." So I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to go left." So I went left, and I went wiggling around in these tiny little lanes. And then I came around the corner. I don't know why I'm telling this story. Sorry. I came around the corner, and then there was this woman, obviously husband and wife, and they were walking their dogs. And the man stood in the road, stood with 1 foot on the road, and it was like a single track lane, and I was in a 26-ton truck, and he just stood there. And he just didn't move. And then I slowed right down because I couldn't get past him without him moving. And then him and his wife were like, "Is everything okay?" I was like, "Yeah, everything's fine, but just get out of the fucking way." Yeah, he just didn't move. But I don't want to kill you, but
yeah,
my favourite thing is if you're in a shop or like having coffee in London, and then you buy lights you can see outside, and you get the cyclists who are plugged into their bike, and they think they've timed it perfectly to stop, and they're kind of trying to keep the bike really, and then they haven't, and they can't get their feet out in time, and they just fall over. That's one of my favourite things.
You did a video of that. That's that I'd like to see.
Yeah. If anyone's in London, can you do that?
Cyclists, get in the bin. Done.
Yeah. Right.
Basically.
Simon, is yours what's annoyed you that mad? What's yours?
Oh, no. No, that didn't annoy me. I don't really know what's annoyed me, to be fair.
It's probably a good thing. You can be all zen and not have one.
Well, on the way back last night, I think I've said this before. I had this little car in the slow lane of the motorway, and I pulled out in my truck, which is limited, to overtake. And then I got kind of halfway up, and then they start speeding up.
Oh.
So annoying.
Really annoys me.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like, do you want me to ram you? Because you're going back the right way.
or if you're in the lorry or towing and someone overtakes you and say you're doing like 55 and then they overtake you, pull in front and then slow down to 50.
And then slow down.
And you're like, why?
It's so annoying.
I agree.
I'm exhausted. This has been like the most high energy podcast I think we've ever done. I think all of us need to like take some, I don't
Chill
know,
out.
what is ADHD medication
Oh,
called?
Jenny, you
Adderall.
sound terrible, my darling. She's like, oh, I'm just so tired.
I've done so much talking.
You guys are having too much fun.
I don't know what's annoyed me. So many things. There's a lot of badminton related ones. But I think what annoyed me most was my inability to be funny in the right moment. So one of the riders was quite rude to me. I won't say who it is. And they didn't realize I could see them. And there was two riders talking. One's more of a trainer. One was one of the riders. And I could see they were looking at me. And they looked me up and down. And he went, what about that one? And the other rider went, no, she's too old. And that annoyed me. What annoyed me most was my response. I was like, oh, it's just... And they were like, oh, we weren't talking about you. I was like, you clearly were. You were looking directly at me and you pointed at me. But I wish in that moment I'd said something really funny like, well, I'm old, but at least I'm not ugly or something. I wish I'd just come back with a really witty comeback and gone,
Old, but at least I'm not an asshole.
yes, at least I'm not a twat.
You
or
can
something.
keep your flaccid 2 inches, you pervy prick.
Yeah. At the amount of times I drive away in a car and replay a conversation and think about all of the things I could have said and these amazing comebacks.
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
always
it's so
too
annoying,
late.
isn't it?
It's too late. I need it there.
Yeah.
Would it be inappropriate to text this to someone? Where it's like you wake up at 3 a.m. and you're like, I've got it. And yeah, you're like, you can message them. Do you remember when we were talking earlier? I should have said this. Fuck you.
Do you remember on the 1st of February, 2025, when we had a conversation?
Yeah.
I know. I wish I'd been really witty and punchy. And I was like, I think I'm shit 90% of the time. I don't need you doing it for me. Fuck off, yeah. But no.
Jenny, just add it to the tell-all book. Remember, when you decide you've had
Yeah.
enough, you'd be
Yeah.
like, everyone that was a knob, you all thought, I've decided I don't want to do this anymore. So, here are all the facts.
Yeah.
There'll be a
that's
whole
Jenny's-
chapter on us, Ben. In fact, probably a couple.
There will be our own book, Simon. It will be
Exactly.
called Dickheads Who Do Not Answer the Phone.
Yeah. Nobbier and nobbier.
Caleb is not going to feature in that book apart from in the Riders I Like section.
Jenny, you say all the right things.
Yeah, that was smooth. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you. We actually, before we go, we have quite the following in Australia. I feel like we need to somehow manufacture us coming over to you as well. I feel like there is like a few people have said we need to take our tour round to Australia. I think if we do though, Caleb, you are 100% coming on it.
I'm so keen. And I have a venue you can host it from, and we'll do it just before the show. And then you guys can come and see the show and the helicopter, and we're in.
Are we allowed to fly in the helicopter?
Look, I'm not going to make any promises, but I'll see what I can do.
Oh, it's been so nice meeting you. Thank you so much. Will you come on again? Honestly, this has been great fun.
I would love to. That would be awesome. Yes, please. I'll think of more things that annoy me between now and then.
I think you came up with that pretty quickly. I think that's not a problem for you. Right, my lovely boys. I feel like we now have a new Australian member of the team. So thank you so much for coming on. I had a whole like army of other questions because your life has been so interesting. But I feel like we'll just have to do a part 2 and get you on again. But for now, Caleb, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It's so, I guess, humbling when people that you really look up to have invited you to be on a podcast. So I'm very grateful, and I feel super, super excited. And it was really, really fun. So I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Can we now? There is a slight delay, so I'm not sure it's going to work, but I'm wondering, can we experience the singing voice and can we sing us out with Caleb? All that is left to do is say, shut up and ride.
Shut up and ride. Shut up and ride.
Shut up and ride. We won't quit our day jobs.